Okay, everybody, Team Easy, welcome to Sunday, the 25th of April, team training. And nothing gives me greater pleasure than to introduce tonight's trainer. I'm so blessed that I've been asked to introduce her because Amanda and I have become amazing friends. And I was looking back actually in our conversation in the chat today, and we had a chat earlier, and it was very nostalgic to think about how we got talking. But Amanda and I first met or spoke on the 29th of May last year. And we met and came into contact through a mutual friend. It was a social media post. And immediately we spoke. I knew we were going to become great friends, no matter what the outcome was in terms of whether she was going to place an order for an Isagenix system. But I knew we'd be great friends. And by gosh, it feels like I've known her for a million years. She's an amazing lady, mum to two boys, and I've got to know her extremely well. Spent Christmas Day at her house, a Christmas dinner. It was amazing. It was great. But Amanda had the most incredible journey with her products, and from the get-go was coachable, just incredibly coachable, and was so up for sharing a journey and sharing the passion, because within about 5 days I remember getting a message from her saying, oh my God, what is this stuff? It's just amazing. And getting a selfie. And she just has had the most incredible journey. It makes me a bit emotional. She joined on the 31st of May, was converted to an associate on the 14th of June. I remember she enrolled around 8 people in her first month, got more than the cost of her products back in her first month because she fell in love with the products. By August, she was Crystal Manager. By September, she was Crystal Director. And by October, she was Crystal Executive. In just 17 weeks, she went from being a customer to Crystal Executive. Oh my God, put a 1 in the chat box if that is not just super exciting. But just to top it off, as everybody knows, the Crystal Reset was announced 22nd of March, I think about the right date where we started. And oh my God, in just 33 days, this amazing lady has hit Crystal Executive again and developed 10. I think it's probably more than that. It might be 12 consultants now, but we know she's certainly developed 10 brand new consultants in just 30 days. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Amanda. I'm super excited to hear what she's going to share with you. Amanda, do you want to come off mute?
Thanks, Donna. How can I follow that? It's like, wow. Yeah, thanks so much, Donna. You are a really true friend, and I really do believe that everything that I've learned comes from you and your wisdom. And yeah, it began on the 31st of May. It began on the 28th of May, and I went for a lockdown walk feeling absolutely fed up. I'd lost my job. A lot of people know that. I'd been made redundant. Ian had been made redundant, and I just ate myself and drank myself into an oblivion for a couple of months, and I was just at rock bottom. And I was on a lockdown walk, and I'd seen earlier on that day, I'd seen a social media post, and this is key to my story because the social media post, like Donna said, was a mutual friend of ours who'd lost an incredible amount of weight and felt amazing. I mean, I resonated more with how this lady was feeling. She looked great, but she was feeling great. She described the way she felt before exactly who I was right there and then. So I resonated with it, and I picked up the phone and asked her what she'd done. And she directed me to Donna. She didn't get involved with speaking to me about it. She introduced Donna as being the expert, and she put me in touch with Donna, and I had the call with Donna on the 28th of May. And that date will always be in my mind because it's the day that changed my life forever, literally. And I didn't know what this was going to cost. I was chatting to this woman who I've never spoke to before, who instantly I felt warmth from, kindness, friendliness. I didn't feel I was being sold to. She explained Isagenix as a brand. She had an affinity and a love for a company, and the whole thing, the whole introduction was something that I wanted to be part of. I didn't know what the cost was going to be. Ian and I had already made a pact that we wasn't going to spend big amounts of money on anything because we had no income coming in. So when she told me the price, it was a little bit of I was taken aback. I don't know what I expected it to be, but I didn't expect, perhaps I didn't expect it to be so much money all at once. I saw the value in the products. I knew she broke the products down to a weekly or a daily figure. So I was thinking, okay, I'm spending £10 a day on my lunch when I was in work, and I was drinking a bottle of Prosecco a day, let's face it, so that had a cost to it as well. So I figured that out. But what my pain point was parting with a big amount of money that I didn't know was going to work. It wasn't, I didn't trust the plan, I didn't trust Donna, I didn't trust me. I was addicted to sugar and I didn't trust me. So when Donna heard that I had this pain point of financial worry, she very quickly explained to me that, look, Amanda, how are you with your social media? And I said, well, I go on it, I scroll around and I post now and again. And she explained, if you share your results and blog your journey on social media, you can very easily get these products paid for. So straight away, I was up for that. She introduced me to the launch post. The launch post is in our EZ training, and it's a template, but she introduced me to that. I filled in the blanks. I used Donna's photographs because she gave them to me. The script. This is my friend Donna. She lost a stone in 30 days on this amazing plan. And I want to do the same, because I'm sick of feeling, and my blanks, my why was, I feel depressed. I feel old. I feel fat. I'm not me anymore. I feel lost. And I just want to find myself again. And at the end of it, it said, I'd love to have some friends join me. Let's make ourselves accountable. And, even though I knew why I was doing that, I was trying to attract people to join the plan to help me pay for my products. It really made me feel accountable to myself. It had a sort of two-pronged effect, where once I'd put that out there to the universe, to the Facebook friends, I was going to succeed. My result was going to be, and I remember Donna saying to me, my result, your photograph, your result can make you a millionaire. And I just thought, okay, Donna, you're a nice person, but you're really exaggerating now. And she's not. It's the trajectory that we're going on is a really, really positive one. And who knew then that this was going to happen? So Donna set the standard, and she set the expectation. And like she said, I was coachable. I absorbed everything like a sponge. I was not a network marketer. I was a 54-year-old woman who had 200 friends on Facebook. I barely used it. We had boot camps about when I was posting. We had boot camps that are available. We can show you those train if you're interested in that. We did a weekly. When I put my hand up and I wanted to learn more about Isagenix and network marketing, we had training Zooms every week about how to widen your network, etc. So once I caught the vision of wanting to look at Isagenix as a second income, which didn't take very long, it was probably about the 1st of August, I think. I seem to remember it was the end of July, August, when I could see that there was an income potential. Every person I spoke to on the phone, every discovery call I had, which wasn't for probably for 30 days or so, because Donna took the calls. That's right, Donna, isn't it? I referred everybody who shown an interest in my progress posts, I referred to Donna. And then I would coach them. So I took part of the piece away from Donna. So Donna had the discovery call because she was more knowledgeable than me at the time. And then I would then support those friends to take that piece away from Donna. And that's how we rolled it for quite a while. And then once I was confident enough to have the calls, I had the calls and converted my own prospects into orders. But I never lost vision. And I still don't now. Every single call that I have, I never lost the vision and the memory of being that customer. That customer was me. Their pain point was mine. Their financial objection was mine. And I take myself into their head. I know what their objections are going to be, and I know how to answer them. And the piece about sharing and helping that customer get their products paid for was so important to me that when I deliver that part of the call, I do it with a posture of, it's what we do. Why would you not? It's not, I know some people have come to me who struggle to get their customers or their prospects to share. And perhaps the posture is, would you do me a favor? Would you put a post on your social media? I don't deliver it like that. I say, what you need to do now is you need to put your launch post, set your intention, tell the world what you're doing. It'll help you make yourself accountable, and you'll get your products paid for, because that's what I did. And that's exactly how I deliver it. Why would you not want to get your products paid for? Eat for free, join the Eat for Free club. It's what I did. I didn't have a job when I started. It was very important. And when I started to be the customer in my head and feel what they were feeling, they took that on board. They took that on board. And that in turn really helps with your retention, because as soon as they see that money coming into their account, when they've not even completed the first week on the system, you've got that customer for a long time, if not indefinitely, as a business builder. And I believe that sharing piece is a real key to developing consultants. Once they have agreed to, when we've been on the discovery call, we've found out about them, we've clicked and gelled, just as Donna and I did, and I recommend the plan. At that point, when they agree to the order and they agree to that, if they've got price objections and they talk about the price objection, I'll share that sharing, I'll discuss that sharing piece then, because if they've got a price objection, I will use the sharing piece to say, look, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the cost of it. It's not expensive anyway. It's £10 a day. It's your breakfast, your lunch, your supplements, your cleanse, your snacks. It's a whole bunch of stuff for £10 a day, and I justify the cost. But at that price objection point, I will then say, and if you're worried about that, I can help you get that money back very, very quickly. And then I'll tell them what I did. So if there's a price objection, I will use that sharing piece then. If there's not, and they order, that's when I will say to them, okay, that's great, we've got your order, I'm going to process your order in a minute. How do you feel about sharing your results on social media? Because you're going to get results. Now, if you think about that, I really believe that when I say, how do you feel about sharing your results on social media, I think that's if that was me as a customer, I'd think, oh, I must be definitely going to get results, because she's saying, how do you feel about sharing your results? So that's a confirmation and an affirmation that I am definitely going to get results on this plan, because this lady is saying, why don't I share them? So therefore, when they are open to that and they say, oh yeah, I don't mind that. Or you might get an objection where they say, oh, I'm not sure about that. I don't want, they see my post in my underwear and they think they've got to do that. And I said, no, don't worry about that. You don't have to get your kit off on Facebook. Doesn't have to be like that. And I give them an example of what sharing the results could look like in a milder format. So I would say, for example, in a week's time, you're going to feel amazing. You're going to have more energy. You're going to sleep better. You're going to wake up with a spring in your step. You're going to have all your cravings are going to go, and you're going to feel like a different person in a week. Why don't you just, when that happens, when you've experienced those things, a little post on Facebook, can't believe I've been on a nutritional program for just a week. I feel amazing. I feel incredible. Thank you, Amanda G, for introducing me to this plan. And when they realize it's only that, they're more open to it, because sometimes they see our posts and they feel that they've got to put photographs on. I don't know if you guys have come across that, but they sometimes fearful that they have to replicate what we do. So I give them an example. I run through an example, and when they agree and they're open to that, that's when I would say, okay, if you're open to that, why don't we get started today? So this is maybe a Friday morning, and I'll say Friday night is a great time. And they say, what do you mean? I've not started on the plan. No, I'll say I have a template post that is brilliant. It's what I used. It's what got me my first £200 back before my box had even arrived. It's a launch post, and I read it to them so they know what they're about to put on their social media. I give them an idea. It just basically says, after seeing a friend of mine, Amanda G, lose a stone, blah, blah, blah. And you can use my pictures. Don't worry about your pictures. You can use my pictures. So when they agree to that, that's the post that I will send along to them as a template via WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever, with their screenshot of their order. I process their order, I send them a copy of the screenshot of their order so they've got the username. I send them a text message to telling them about their app, etc. And then I send them the launch post and a bunch of my photographs. Then I will ask them when they feel like they want to post it, and I'll give them tips about posting. Maybe Friday night is a good time to post. At that point, I'll chat to them about what to say to the friends and how to respond to their responses. Really important. This is a really important piece, because when they do get responses on their social media, the friends are asking, you know, what is it you're using? What is it? You know, what's this plan? Who's this lady? If you tell them, and this is me talking to the customer, if you go to your friends and say it shakes and it's £300, you'll never see them again. So please don't tell them. And the way I explain it is, it's not being underhanded with your friends. We're not being sneaky with your friends. You've just spent half an hour with me on the phone and you've made an informed decision. So allow your friends to make that informed decision too. So when your friends ask you what the program is you're following, what the nutritional plan is, you say, speak to my friend Amanda. She knows best. She'll recommend the right plan for you. It's different for everybody. The next question your friends are going to ask you is, how much is it? And you respond by saying, again, it's all different. It depends what you need. Speak to Amanda. And literally just push your friends towards me. And then I will respond in the thread. If you tag me, I'll get notifications of the responses. I'll see people asking, and I'll private message them and arrange a call. And the whole thing repeats on itself. And I think the key element here is to carry the belief that they will share on social media, or they will share. If you have somebody who doesn't want to go on social media, you can ask them, do they know any friends? You create that possibility for them that they can eat for free, they can have their products for free. And I think that what I've done here is, at the beginning, when I was rank advancing to manager and director and executive, this was a pattern that, because I was on a run, on a trajectory of speed and urgency, I think that because I did it so many times, I got better at it. And I think that the more you have success with something, the more you feel more confident on your next call, and so on and so on. And this is just a duplicated system that, you know, there is no, like Donna says, there's no secret sauce to it. It's just a repeat of what happened to me. It's exactly what I saw work. I saw Isagenix through a social media post. I reached out. I was passed to Donna. Donna finished the sale. I posted a launch post. Donna looked after my contacts and my friends. And I have just repeated that process. When we got another point that I want to make, I'm just looking at the time. I'm conscious of it. I'm okay, because I do go on. I'm making sure I'm not going over. Okay. One thing is I want to talk about. So that's the launch, the piece about the sharing. That is key for me, is social media sharing. If I find that if you don't have that conversation right at the beginning, I find you lose them for sharing. I don't know whether you agree, Donna. I find that when you instill that belief of sharing their journey at the beginning, it grows arms and legs. They see a response at the beginning. They see the launch post work. Even if they don't have orders from the launch post, they see an interest. So they see that what I've said has worked, and they're more likely to share on their first week, to say how wonderful they feel, and at week 2 and at week 3. And like my language is, why not have a few cracks at the whip? Do a launch post, set your intention, get some customers there, or help some friends get started there. And then when you feel, as you progress and get your results, then you can introduce more people and help more people get started. And so it creates that idea, and it shows them the money. I find that if you don't if you don't encourage them to do that at the beginning, you may, if you're very lucky, get them to do a piece at 30 days. When they've finished their 30-day plan, by that time, they maybe lost the opportunity to be an associate for free. Then you've got to have the awkwardness of charging them £22.80. And they've not seen it work, so they're less likely to do it. So I think that's the success that I've had, is encouraging people to share right from the start before they've even got the box, and all the way along. Okay. And just before I hand back over to Donna, another piece that I'd like to talk about is time management. I believed myself that my success in the first run was due to the fact that I was at home on furlough. I did get, as I said, I was unemployed and lost my job. I did start working in July when we came out of lockdown, and some of you may know I manage a boutique full time. And then we went back into lockdown, and I had a great success by running my Isagenix business full time. And I did wonder how that would impact on my ability to keep going at that pace when I went back to work just a few weeks ago, because I was speaking to customers from 10 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. I won't lie, I put a lot of time into it. People who wonder how I did it, I put a lot of time into it. I was speaking to friends of friends, and I was going all day. So how was I going to cope when I went back to work? Like most of you guys are doing. I'd probably say maybe would it be right, two-thirds at least of people on this call have other jobs. And just as this announced the reset, I was going back to work. So I was really, really panicking about this, because I am quite sort of competitive with myself, not with other people. If I see a challenge, I want to do it. I get it done. That's just the way I am. And I was worried about going back to work and achieving this reset. And I set my time aside, and it was back from Zach's training a few weeks ago, where we were looking at the white spaces on your planner. And I got myself a daily planner, and I looked at the white spaces. I blanked out when I was in the boutique. I blanked out the time with Ian. I blanked out the time I was eating, and I looked at what was left. And I wanted to look at this reset, and I looked at what was left, and I just took every bit of time that was spare. There was no TV, like you say, there's no BV in TV. And I didn't do TV in this run. If I did, it was for an hour in bed, and it wasn't even an hour. It was like I was asleep within 10 minutes. I was that tired. So I managed to complete my reset with my full-time job, because I managed my time from the beginning. I looked at what time I had left, and I penciled that out. And I just repeated, and I think it was the success of the first run which helped me with the second, because I was on a roll, if you like, and I just never left that call till the customer agreed to share. And if they didn't agree to share, I called them a few days later and asked them if they changed their mind, because I can bet your bottom dollar that a friend of theirs have shared and they've seen their success, and then they've gone back and changed their mind. And they've done a launch post like, my box has just arrived, not my box is on its way, my box has just arrived. So they're backtracking on the launch post. And as soon as they see the interest, they're on. And I'll give you an example. I'll pass you to Don in a second. Give you an example of this. I had a lady who ordered last week. She got 2 people. She helped 2 people within the space of a couple of days, became consultant. Her friend has become a consultant. She's halfway to manager. She's just earned, she's been on the plan for 6 days. She's not completed a week, and she has just earned £488. And she's only a week into the plan, because of the calls that I was willing to do for her, because she's new. I chased up every request, and I had every call until these people are ready for doing these calls themselves. And that is what Donna did. She held my hand until I was ready. And at the moment, I'm holding an awful lot of hands. I'm letting go of some of them, but I'm holding a lot of hands. But I just love nothing more than to get that money in the bank for my friends. They're my customers, but they're my friends. And I know what I've experienced. And to give that to somebody else is just magical. And it's the best feeling ever. So I hope that you've got some value from my call tonight. I've not had my eye on the chat box. I need a new prescription for my reading glasses. I won't lie, I can't see it, but I will read it back on the recording. And this will go, I'm going to put something in the thread on the group tonight about what did you take from this, just in order for you guys to maybe ask any questions that you might be thinking that I can answer later on. So I will get back to everybody. So thank you so much for having me. I've never done this before. And I'm going to hand you back to my gorgeous friend, Donna.
Thank you, Amanda. That was amazing. Thank you. So many nuggets from that. Just to kind of, I guess, just to close, really, if I could summarize, because I know sometimes when we're listening to people, we can sometimes miss things, but I guess to summarize it is, remember, you're still a customer of Isagenix, and when every phone call you do, be the customer. Remember your journey. Remember what got you passionate about sharing. Amanda remembers that on every call. She remembers it and remembers how amazing she felt in her initial journey. There's no secret sauce. There isn't. It's just asking people to share. Do it in your own unique way. You know, I did it in a way with Amanda. Amanda's made it her own. You know, but it's who are two people you know for sure want to do it with you. Might be one way, or are you open to sharing your journey? There isn't a secret sauce. Ask the question. That's all Amanda's doing. She's asking the question consistently. Everybody, there's never a thought that they won't want to do it. The certainty and posture is just amazing. You're just incredible with that, Amanda. I just love it. And she holds the hand. She does it with them. That's really critical, because if you ask somebody to put a launch post on social media and then you just leave them to it, it's probably not going to amount to, you're not going to bring that to fruition. Amanda holds the hand. She chases every like, messages every possible person. She's passionate about putting the money in the bank for the customer, getting the products paid for. And she does that relentlessly. And hats off to you, Amanda. It's just incredible at the rate that you're doing it. I'm so in awe of your work ethic. It's an inspiration, but what she is consistent. There is anything different except the fact that Amanda is massively consistent. So well done, Amanda. Huge congratulations on the reset. I'm so proud of you. I love you lots. Thank you for spending your evening training us tonight. And like she said, she's going to put a little comment in the team group. So any questions, anything we've missed, feel free to pop it in there in your key takeaways. We love you all lots. I'm seeing lots of faces. I feel like I've not seen you all forever, but love you all. Thanks, Amanda. Take care, everybody. Night.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.